I'm with Nashat Filmon from the Palestinian Bible Society, and we're talking about the recent fighting with Gaza. A ceasefire has been in place for a few hours now. Do you think it will last?
I hope and pray so. I believe that both sides are interested in maintaining this peace treaty, and I hope the ceasefire would last.
Which political power is in charge in Gaza?
Well, it's obvious Hamas is in charge. It has been since 2007.
And what's life like being in Gaza over the last few days?
It has been hell on earth. Unfortunately, the shelling, the ongoing day and night, bombing of buildings and the noises. People couldn't sleep. They were all the time frightened that their home would be hit. So it was terrible, very, very bad. One of the worst wars ever on Gaza.
Must be very frightening sitting in your bed and just hearing explosions all around you.
Well, I had friends down there whom I called just to check on, and they were telling me that they were not sure that they will see the morning, and it's very, very hard. A lady by the name of Noor means light in Arabic. She wrote to me, ironically, I'm not sure I will see light in the morning. And it reflects a reality that it was very, very tough, very hard days.
How is the Christian community in Gaza going through this at the moment?
Well, the Christian community in Gaza, as the rest of the Gazans, have suffered a lot. So many have been displaced. They moved to safer areas, relatively safer areas within the Gaza Strip. Of course, I don't know if you heard, but the Rosary Sisters School have been hit with a rocket, from the Israeli side, which caused lots of damage in the compound. But praise God, the nuns were safe. Yeah, so they suffered a lot. It hasn't been easy. Yeah, and I praise God that there is a ceasefire and that this has come to an end.
Has there been power cuts in Gaza as well?
Yeah, all the time, power cuts, of course. Major buildings have been targeted, and this also caused the whole areas, big areas, to be without electricity. And of course, when you don't have electricity, this results not having water because it cannot be pumped. Water, and then this results in no internet and no means of communication and so forth and so on. So it basically brought them backwards tens of years.
I imagine it affects business as well.
Of course. There were no business. People couldn't work the past 10 days. So many couldn't even come out of their homes because of safety. Yeah, but again, it's a very small area, 365 kilometers, one of the most dense spots on the face of Earth, 2 million people living it's an open-air prison. And sadly, this curfew has been for over 20 years now, without being able to move, to come out, freely to all of this, it was known as this is a ticking bomb and it's going to explode at a certain point.
Now, in Israel, in the Gaza communities, they have warning sirens and bomb shelters. Do they have anything like this in Gaza?
No. Simple. Gaza, the big title of Gaza is no. So clean water, no. Job opportunities, no. Clean food, no. So any question that you have, the answer would most probably be no, unfortunately.
What's it like for the children there?
It's the worst. The trauma that they lived in the past 10 days have been crazy. As I mentioned to you, I was calling them, and over the phone I heard people and kids crying, and I heard the voices of bombings. And the mother was telling me that it has been different because now I have 2 kids, and I'm so afraid for my kids, and my kids didn't stop crying. So I'm talking about some people whom I know, Christians inside Gaza, but I also have been in touch with others who told me that the whole Gaza Strip has been targeted, from north to south. And yes, relatively certain areas have been, safer than others. 50,000 displaced. Most of them went to United Nations UNRWA schools. Yeah, very, very tough days.
Do you think they're going to be suffering today from psychological problems because of what they've heard and what they've seen?
They have been suffering before, but this will add significantly into their suffering. And the trauma that they went through, I believe, was very tough. And this was unexpected war. They have not been prepared for this war. It just happened. And this is also another trauma, added to all what they have been living through.
I imagine you can live through fear for a few hours, but to go through fear constantly for 10 days or so, it must be very difficult.
Yes, without any doubt. And especially for those who have lost their beloved ones in the past wars, who have, houses have been bombed, explosions very close to their homes. They've sent me some videos also, from their window. They show you, explosions happening here and there.
So it's that close?
Very, very close, yeah. And basically they showed me their bedrooms also, where the windows have been destroyed, cracks in the walls. Yeah, it's crazy.
Is there anyone in there to help them with the psychological help that they're going to need in the future?
Well, we as a Palestinian Bible Society have been running some trauma healing programs, and we believe that this is something that we should be doing in the coming season over Gaza, intensifying our trauma healing programs there.
I imagine because Gaza is so small, there actually is nowhere to run away to.
Yes, when I was last in Gaza, I remember we visited, on the way out after finishing the visit, we visited, they were telling me about an English cemetery. So I stopped by the cemetery just to have a look at it and to see. And I saw a young man, around 19 years old, in the cemetery. It was empty except for that young man. And the cemetery was, nice. It has been well taken care of. But I went to approach this young man. I told him, what are you doing here? You're a local, and this is a cemetery for the English army who was here. And he said, this is the most peaceful place in Gaza. I ran away to the cemetery just to have peace of mind. So this explains to you the tough condition that the people live in. And this young man found a place for, sanity and for peace, peace of mind. And yeah.
How are the hospitals in Gaza? Can they cope with this?
No, they can't. The thousands of injured people, hundreds of killed people. It's a disaster. You need to remember that COVID has been in Gaza has hit very hard, and hospitals couldn't cope with COVID. And now the war that happened, in addition to COVID, this is a disaster for Gaza. So medical need is great there. Doctors cannot cope with all the injured people. And again, it's hell on earth.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Was Gaza struggling even before the latest violence?
Absolutely, big time with COVID. They couldn't handle. Oxygen machines were sacred. We bought several oxygen machines and tried to bring them down to Gaza to help people, because the Gazan hospitals were sending people back home, and they're saying, we cannot do much. We cannot provide oxygen machines for you. We cannot help you. So you need to go and manage. And the need was great to purchase oxygen machines and to send it to Gaza, and that's what we did.
What's life like for the people in Gaza who live under Hamas?
Well, listen, Hamas has been ruling Gaza since 2007, and people got used to it. It's not easy, and the mainstream news explains Hamas's agenda and this division between Hamas and Fatah and the political parties within the Palestinian territories and Palestinian areas. What I can say here is that this open-air prison that people live in is not something right. We cannot keep silence on it. There has to be a solution for Gaza. There has to be a way where people can live in dignity and freedom, where they can express their opinions, have the rights as the rest of the humanity, be able to move, be able to work, be able to live in dignity. This is a must, and this is a Christian voice calling the whole world to come, to stand by Gaza, to help, to put pressures wherever it's needed to free Gaza and to bring dignity to the nations there.
Are you able to go into Gaza at all to help and to see the people?
I've been banned from going into Gaza. I hope I'll be able to go to Gaza soon. I'll apply again. But yeah, one time we were together in Gaza. If you remember, I took you down to Gaza. And I think it's easier for you, Paul, as a British citizen, to go to Gaza than for me to go. But I'm going to continue trying, and I hope I'd be able to go. We have some of our staff who are able to go and have permits already granted.
Have you heard stories of God's grace, even through this difficult time and this conflict?
Yes, with the sunrise every morning and the chat, and they say, praise God, we're still alive. That's a message of grace. Some of them were telling me that God has saved us from being bombed and being hit so hard. And we were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and God has truly saved us and brought us alive. So yeah, it's a beautiful testimony when you hear people. I've got a friend of mine who wrote to me and a message saying, please pray for me. They sent a message to our neighbor that they're going to hit their homes. So he said, pray for me. So we've been praying for him. And then later on, after maybe half an hour, he sent another message. I'm writing back to you from lots of dust, lots of damage, but I'm still alive. So praise God for that.
I know you have a heart for Gaza. It must be hard for you to hear these stories sometime.
It's heartbreaking for any human to see what's going on in Gaza. I'm against violence, but at the same time, I'm against dehumanizing 2 million people and treating them like animals and putting them in open-air prison and not giving them the opportunity to live a normal life. This is sad, and I cannot, stay silent about this. And we as a Christian community, we as a community who believe in God and believe in humanity should act towards that. It cannot stay the same. It's impossible. I mean, again, if you look at history, war after war after war after war, curfew after lockdown after lockdown after curfew. That's it. It has to end. Israel and the local authorities have to come, and the whole international community has to come to a solution and resolve the issue of Gaza and help people, Even if you don't have fundamentalists, they will turn to be fundamentalists if you do not resolve their daily bread issues and their daily work and their daily life matters. So we have to move.
What's your prayer for Gaza today?
Well, I pray that the Gazans would see light at the end of the tunnel and that this war would be the last war. And people who care for Gaza would come and sit together and resolve. And I pray that the doors would be open, the doors of heaven for blessings over Gaza, but also the prison that they are living in for people to move, go out and come in, and that Gaza would flourish. I pray that people would again struggle to deal with and work to deal with the Gazans like human beings.
Do you have a fund set up to help the people of Gaza? What's your website address and how can people give if they would like to give?
Well, we're launching a project to help 1,000 families in Gaza. We want to help with home repairs, with food, with water, with mattresses, blankets, basic stuff. So we're targeting to help each family with $100 of these supplies. And we're also hoping to be able to do home repairs. If the windows have been broken, we will replace the windows so that they will be able to live in the house. If a crack happened and it's not a major thing, we would help them fix that crack. I wish we could rebuild the towers that have been leveled down, but we can't. We will do trauma healing programs online and also hopefully send our team to do trauma healing programs down there in Gaza. We support the Christian and the Muslim community with hot meals, with a package, what we call 20 shekels package. The package will contain water, a hot meal, and also 2 tuna fish cans and 7 loaves of bread. These are the initiatives that we are trying to help with, and we encourage people to contact us on our website, www.pbs-web.com. They can contact me as well directly on our Facebook, the Palestinian Bible Society, or Nashat, NASHATFL @gmail.com. And they're welcome. Donations are welcome, and donations will go directly to beneficiaries in Gaza, God's willing.
Okay, Nashat, thank you much.
Thank you, Paul. God bless you.